All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm sorry about that freezing and audio problem. Thank you for telling me. So we want to teach you all tonight how to convert challengers to coaches. And what I was saying in little spurts, I guess, is that the reason that I haven't taught on this and a lot of other things, you all know that I'm trying different things and I'm always trying new things, but I don't really feel like it is right, like authentic, right, for me to teach on something that I don't know will work or will not work. I know that the 3 vital behaviors work. I know that if every day you are connecting with new people, you're inviting new people, you are posting on social media, you are adding value to people through social media, you are a proof the product works, and you're doing personal development. I know that that works. I know that works. I mean, it really, really does, but it's consistency. So those are the things that I have been able to give you, that the 3 vital behaviors and consistency and momentum. I had shared in a post, but I'm going to share it here again, especially because it's being recorded. But I believe that there's a few steps to implementing something in a fair and right way. And I want to give you kind of a behind the scenes look at what it's like, because I think sometimes it can come off like, oh, Ashley knows what she's doing, or Ashley's got it figured out, or why isn't Ashley teaching us what she's doing? Like, why isn't she telling us exactly what she's doing? And it's because I don't know. Like, I can't reproduce and tell you exactly what I'm doing if it's not going to help you, if I have no reassurance. So I've been doing the vital behaviors, like I said, but then for the past year, this is what else I've been doing, implementing. So where I started off, I had nothing. Didn't know what a webinar was. No sneak peek. Nobody was leading it for me. There was nobody to invite to. I didn't know how to run a group. I mean, there was no example. I did, because Shay was brand new. And so I didn't know, because she was brand new and we we're all both figuring out together. Same with Lindsay. Like, Lindsay was brand new and we all were just figuring it out. So I just listened to a ton of YouTube videos, and all those links in the, like Brittany's, I listened to all of those. And I started hearing stuff about a sneak peek, or people were doing a webinar or a coach opportunity call. And I thought, well, what is that? I had no idea about network marketing, what any of it was. I thought, well, what is that? Okay, that sounds interesting. I guess that makes sense. Not just posting sometimes, about it, or not just inviting people, like to have something invite them to, not just, hey, you want to change your life and become a coach today? That's what I was doing. I had nothing to invite them to. So I learned I would research broadly. I'd find some things I thought, this sounds really innovative and like it might work, but I don't understand why. And I need to understand why. What's the purpose for it? So then I would study a ton. I would look for every video I can. If there was a course on it, like on webinars, I would buy the course. And the course would usually take me like 2 to 3 months to go through, at least. And then I would, sometimes during that course or sometimes after, I take the next couple months and I would make the project. So like a webinar, it took me about 2 months to just put the slides together and do it the right way. And then I tested 10 different webinars, like over and over and over, live. Like, my voice was getting sore because I was practicing so much. So I implemented them. And then after that, you've got to go through beta testing, because I can't just say like, oh, look, I learned this thing and here it does. I have to show you that it works, right? That's not fair if I don't have proof that it works. So I'm in year 2 now, and I feel like I know some things that work. So this year, my goal as a leader, one of the main ones, is to focus on creating systems that can be duplicated based on what we figured out works, creating a housing for trainings that are organized, and then creating more training. So the tiered calls, that's like one step towards that. So we tonight want to teach you how to convert challengers to coaches. And I hate the word convert, because it makes it sound like it's like, I don't know, kind of like, oh, we just want to switch them on. But here's the thing, is that our goal as a company is to end the trend of obesity. And every challenger that you have has humongous value. You can't point them out. That's what I used to do, is I'd be like, oh, well, there's no coaches in this group, like they wouldn't be good, or they went MIA. So like there's no way I'm going to ask them, because they aren't even, willing to be a good challenger. It was like, I'm thinking like I'm the boss, like, are they going to, they're not doing a good job. So I wasn't thinking bad for them. I was thinking really, I'm suck. Like, I'm a horrible coach. I failed them. Like, why aren't they answering me? Why did somebody just cancel? So it was all like really thinking about me. And so a couple things have switched. A lot is just my whole mindset has switched. I think my goals have really switched. And so basically my funnel for everything is just, I want to help these people. I want to help them. I want to help them. I want to help them. But we've kind of figured out a system of what works, and it has to do you want me to like go through the thing and then have you like talk about exactly what you're like, go into it more?
You can do whatever you want.
Or just pass it?
You can do whatever you want. It's fine.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go over like the generalities, key points, and then I have Sam talk more about little tipping points. Okay, can you all see my screen? Okay, so kind of the 4 pillars, I think. Audra did a call just the other day that was on like 3 little words, and it was talking about, instead of making huge goals, to center ourselves on a few words that we can keep coming back to and remember those words, so that they'll drive us, and so they'll pull people to us and our objectives to us, instead of always pushing. So the ones for converting challengers to coaches, I would say, are timing, momentum, personalization, and engagement. And this, I made this into an infographic so I can share it with you all. And that I'll hopefully use in like apprentice groups. Okay, so timing. This is real short, okay, before I pass it on to Sam. Here's a quote by Yogi Berra, a baseball player. You don't have to swing too hard to hit a home run. If you got the timing right, it'll go. There's so much about timing. It's not like, and this is why I haven't felt authentic and right for some of these things, is I could tell you set up a challenge group like this, and here's a list of things to do. But if I don't tell you the timing and the finessing, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And one of the things that I found out with timing made a huge difference. Like, for instance, I heard somewhere somebody did a Zoom call. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll do a Zoom call, but I'm going to do mine like after the first week of preseason, before the real challenge starts. That seems like a good time to do it. So I did it then. And then this past time I thought, what if I do it before the preseason starts? Start it then. It made all the difference. All the difference, because everybody's mindset was, well, I have to show up to this call so I know what to expect. Like, I have to. I'm not going to know what to do in this challenge group unless she tells me on the, on this video chat thing. It totally changed because they had no access. That was the gate. Like I took a cold calling course like a couple years ago. It's like a long story, but they talk about the gatekeeper, basically like the personal assistant and the secretary. And if you can't get through the gatekeeper, you can't get through like to the boss. And so I feel like this Zoom call is kind of like the gate. That's how they see it, as the gate to their results into the challenge group. So timing for that Zoom call. I know it's annoying. You don't have to do it Sunday night, but I will say that was just like a key change. I was like, whoa, there are a lot of people on this call, whereas before I would be lucky if anybody showed up. And they repeatedly came to every single call. So it's not enough to just do the right actions. The right actions have to be implemented at precisely the right time. I said, well, there's usually a little wiggle room, but really the more that you can figure out, like, I think I posted something else, or I noticed this morning, all of a sudden at 8:30, my phone started dinging. People's like notifications. I got a couple texts like between 8:28 and 8:32. There was like a bunch of action. I thought, okay, 8:30 a.m., something's happening there. It's timing. If I post at 5 a.m. when I get up, the timing's wrong. I could post all the right words. There's posts that I made when I first became a coach, and sometimes I think those were good posts. Nobody cared. Well, the timing was wrong. Now, maybe it was the time of day, but it was also the time in my coaching career. So the content and things you're putting out there now, you might be like, what's going on? Like, this is good stuff. It's just timing. I would honestly, I'm going to do probably another call on this. You feel like you've got some awesome content, save it in a folder. I'm going to have Lori teach you guys about this app, A-Note, that she's been using, that I started using. It's real easy to just like save your good post in a folder, and then it's there forever, and you just repurpose it. But okay, next thing, engagement. When you host a challenge group, you have the opportunity to create and feed a tribe. So each challenge group, everything you do as a coach, you are creating a movement. That's what your goal needs to be as a coach, is to create a movement. And you get to choose what that movement is. You get to choose what your crusade is. Lori's is Fit Legacy Now. Like, it's strong. You know, you have to feel that. The more time goes on, the more centered it should be. You know, mine started as Revolution Empowered. That was like the name of our team, because I wanted to empower change in people. And that just I thought that sounded dorky, so I changed it to Thrive. But really, that's my goal, is to take people from a stuck place where they're just kind of going and it's just not going, and to help them to thrive and really love their lives. So that's what drives me. That's my movement that I want to create. And so in your challenge group, this is the warmest market you will ever have. Don't think of coaches as coaches and challengers as challengers. No, you need to realize that challengers on the continuum, from like cold prospect to coach, challengers are as close to coach, that as close as the warm market as you can get. And you can't discount any of them, because you might be like, oh, they're so busy, or oh, they're too good for me, or oh, they're so lazy, or oh, they're this or that, or whatever. You don't know that. We're all the same inside. We're all the same inside. And so you can't discount anybody. And all it takes for someone to get to diamond or, you know, go up is one person that you think, well, they're not going to do, well at it. One person signing a sister and a husband up, there you go. That it takes one person. And if you can translate in your challenge group, you can translate and communicate what your movement is, what your goal, not your goal, like what your passion is. You can teach them how to communicate what it is that you're about. And the more you can kind of, I don't want to say brand it, because that makes it sound like you've got to have colors and fonts and that kind of thing, but they want to be part of something, part of a tribe. So I have basically created a Busy Girls tribe. So I said, I will use language like, hey, busy girls, blah, 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 blah. And then they start calling themselves a busy girl. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening. Something's going on here. So like give them the challenge group is the space. Give them a home, give them a name, give them like something to attach to. And we often I don't know if we often think of ourselves as this, but a lot of times as coaches, we can get into a boss role where it's like, I'm the boss, welcome to my school, or welcome to my, business. I'm going to teach you to do this and this and this and this. Good people, you did just what I want. We actually want to cultivate leaders. We want to cultivate leaders that are so engaged and are leading so much that we could literally not be there. Like we could literally just post a selfie of our workout and it wouldn't matter because they were leading so much. And so, okay, so tribes. I'm actually reading the book Tribes, if you will believe it or not, and it's really, really good. But there's 4 ways for a tribe to tighten communication and communicate. One is tribe to leader. So your challengers to you. They're either messaging you or they're saying, hey, Ashley, what about this? At Cheryl, what about this? Or leader to tribe. So you're telling them something. That's what we do most of the time in the challenge groups. Here's a really tight one. I think our team does this really well, is tribe to tribe. I think that's a really, really strong one. And then one that we don't ever think. So you want them to communicate and be friends with each other and lift each other up. That's why I think that Zoom call, the more people you can get on a Zoom call before it starts, the more that tribe to tribe communication is going on. And then last one is tribe to outside world. That's one I'm not real good. I can't really teach on that because that scares me, but think of how powerful that can be. It not only gets your, brand out there and your movement out there. It helps them use coach actions, but it also is creating a catalyst for them to feel empowered, like to get a taste of what being a coach is like. And obviously referrals. Okay. The next one, momentum. This is from Tony Robbins. Success comes from taking the initiative and following up, persisting, eloquently expressing the depth of your love. What simple action could you take today to produce a new momentum toward success in your life? So what is momentum? It's initiating. What are you initiating every day? Honestly, I think it would be a good action if we all wrote down every day what we initiated. Tribes, a lot of this isn't from Tribes, but what the book talks about is innovation and passion, is what people look to for leadership, not management. So what can you be initiating, innovating or initiating, starting? What can you be following up? That's what we track, and we keep things going back in. And how can you eloquently express the depth of your love? Like, people want to be loved so much. I mean, I know that you guys, when somebody randomly sends you a nice text and says something kind about you, or Cheryl sent me a gift one time and I was like, I don't deserve this. Like, somebody cares about me. Somebody's actually thinking about me. I think we just assume that everybody's good, but it's so not true, especially, as adults and parents. People need to be loved and cared for and thought of deeply. Okay, so with momentum, what you don't want is you don't want to stop. Here's another thing that we kind of learned is they signed up for the challenge pack. You don't just say, hey, the thing starts, welcome, and then it starts down here or whatever. You don't want a stop. A stop literally has no go. It has no flow or movement. Our goal is to help challengers find success through forward momentum, no matter how fast or how slow. So when they order, you've got to give them something. Oh, this is, I think I talk about. Oh, well, look, it kind of deleted on continue. So continue was when they order, you need to give them something to do until the group starts. And Sam's going to talk a little bit about more exactly what that looks like. Success. Okay, a successful and fast start is important. So just like a coach getting success starters in the first 3 months, you want challengers to start strong. Don't let them order and then stop the flow. Give them something to do. And okay, so I just said that again, sorry. And then the last thing is personalization. So although systems and form letters are easy and faster, people can just tell. They can just tell. So I think that they're important to have them because I think it trains our brain how to think. It's like the 5-step invite. I remember the first, I don't know how many months where I would just be like, what do I do next? What do I say? I would literally copy and paste the lines and then try to change it just a little bit over and over. So that is the good thing about forms and templates, is that it trains your brain on what the next step is and how to think, but use them and then just tweak them. So you could even just be using it, but then at the very beginning say, so, I know you had a hard day the last couple days. How is it going now? Template, that kind of thing. So that's also tracking and keeping notes on your challengers. I didn't write that down, but that would help with personalization. Okay, so Sam and I have been spending a lot of time on this. I made I made the graphic. Sam is actually the one who really is really good with timing and when people need that, what. So we worked together and we came up with basically a system that worked. I made him write down exactly everything, when it happens, go. So I made this calendar for you all of what we are doing. And like I said, I'm going to give this to you. And then we have in Evernote, we made scripts of the emails, exactly what we are saying with objectives in there. I'm also going to go in there and I'm going to make attach little voice notes to each one so that it's that I don't want to say the magic to it, but there has to be that why. Like there has to be that reason, like what glues it together. So I'm going to do a little voice note for each one of the notes so that it clarifies on them. So let me, my Evernote note, what is it? Let me see. Can you all see my screen when I changed it or no? Oh yeah, okay. So like it's Challenger Journey. And so we've got all the different emails in here. So we have the goals for the emails. We have the base template. We have what type of personalization to add to the email. I think in some of them we have notes, and the notes will be like, do this if you get a response. If you don't get a response, do this. If the response is negative, you might want to say this. So you kind of, it doesn't just kind of like fall flat. We have when to, on the calendar, we have when to invite to sneak peeks. If they're doing poorly, like they don't have momentum, don't invite yet and invite here. And if they do have good momentum, then invite here. So we've really tried to create a really solid system, and I very much hope that it works for you all. I would say you've got to implement it from the very beginning. So I would say next challenge group you do. Now here's another thing. It's a numbers game. Like 20% of I really believe if you follow this, that you should get at least 20% of your challengers becoming coaches if you follow this like to a T, because of the timing and you really put yourself into it. And yeah, it's work, but it's a lot more work to like not let your business go forward. And this is also something that, down the road, and I say down the road, but like we have to remember, we have to put in a lot of extra work and sacrifice up front. There was some quote I just read that was like, you have to work a lot so you can live a lot later, or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but basically, I know that I kind of, but basically you're going to have to work a lot more at the beginning and sacrifice some things so that later on you can work a lot less, and later on you can outsource and tell somebody like, okay, they can follow at the flow. Like it's duplicatable. Like that's the deal, is that I want this to be duplicatable for you, but I also want this to be duplicatable in, 6 months, a year, whenever, where I can have somebody that if I have to go out of town or something, that they can keep this going. And then our job will be more to like respond back to the things, but they can get to know the challenger. So I'm not doing that yet or anything, and I know some people are like, yeah, that's so, no, I'm just telling you, if you want a thriving big business, then I'm trying to set you guys up for like long-term success. So I'm going to pass this over to my genius husband.
Awesome. Okay, so a couple points on this that I wanted to talk about for sure is that they talked about it at the New Leaders Conference that Ashley went to, about basically being sorry, I'm trying to get this adjusted. There we go. It's a little bit better. About your flow to go from to go from customer to coach, challenger to coach. And that basically that's how you should be running your business. That's not how we were running our business, and not how Ashley was doing it. Basically, I wasn't even involved really that much at that point. The most help I was doing was essentially doing the workout and letting her take some pictures of me and watching the kids up until about April. So her flow was basically hope challengers stay with like Shakeology, and then help her coaches sign up other coaches. Like that's all we knew how to do. Like help them sell challenge packs. She was brand new in the business, and she was getting very little support from me, especially in the first 6 months or so. the problem is that most people don't sign up to coach right away. So I had a kind of an informal question. You can type if you're not on here, but I wanted to know how many people signed up initially to coach, to run a business, as opposed to who did not, who signed up as a challenger. So this is a little interaction here. You can raise your hand if I can see you, or you can type in the chat box.
Hand, maybe.
Oh yeah, there's like a thing where you can do like a. Where's
You're sharing the screen.
Oh, I'm sharing the screen. Okay.
Go like.
Where's
the
the?
top. Move that. Yep.
I've never done like this.
Okay, go back. Say stop share.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And then.
Cool. Okay, and then there's a place. Okay, Jamie said she was a challenger first. Okay, that's good to know. I did not know that, actually.
Most people on here were.
Challenger. Discount coach. Yeah, and so was I. A lot of people signed up, that way. But Ashley had a lot of people come to her and say, like, hey, I want to do the coaching, like from the get-go. And she still does. And
obviously they're not on the call.
But she said, obviously they're not on the call. Excellent point. And some of those people are some of the only people that have actually quit. And so that also, I think, is an interesting point. But the point I was trying to make is that people were drawn to the business opportunity with Ashley, and it had to do with her having the gifts of like futuristic thinking and being an activator, being somebody who had already been an entrepreneur for years. People trusted her vision, and they wanted to be a part of that. The problem with that, and we didn't realize this, actually, I don't think we realized this until just recently, is that strategy is not duplicatable. And one of the things that Eric War says in GoPro is it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates. And so her coaches were having trouble finding coaches. And then if they did well, I feel like that those coaches were still having trouble finding coaches because the flow wasn't right. And so the awesome part is I think that this is 80% of what that issue was. And so I think as we solve this as a team, that this is really going to solve a lot of those issues and give us a more long-term approach at really developing our team and our cultures in the downline, developing basically your own culture within this. So I'm excited because of that. I guess there were more than I thought. I thought Kendra was one of the coaches that definitely signed up as a challenger first. It also takes time. I know that I had talked to Lindsay this week, and that Kelly Roderman, who's a diamond coach, I saw her say that on the chat, that she was an inconsistent challenger or something like that. But Lindsay said that she was a challenger for 11 months. And so it takes time. So one of Lindsay's diamonds that really helped her to get to new leaders and to really get to a major milestone in her business was somebody that she worked with off and on who was inconsistent at times for a year. And that's how this business is. You just don't know who's going to like kind of catch fire. But you have to help everybody equally and give them an equal opportunity in the business and to really change their life through health and fitness. Okay, so what we did was reverse engineer kind of like a goal to get people from being a challenger to a coach, or at least present the opportunity. So one of the things I want to emphasize as we go through these, and depending on the time here, I'll kind of skim through the emails. But basically, we want to design a path. And one of the things that I think people don't, or I think we have a tendency to hesitate on, and I think it's a mistake, is that we don't like really promise and really kind of promise and deliver or die trying. So I think what happens is we think like, what if they don't get results? Or what if I can't help them? I had somebody who was thinking about coaching. It's like, I would feel so bad if I couldn't help them get results. Well, here's the deal. You need to promise that you're going to get them results. And that sounds like crazy. Like, oh, you can't promise. You can't promise. Look, they have a guarantee. You can send it back. If you feel bad, you can pay them $8 shipping. I think that's all they're out. We know that the products work. I'm living proof that the products work. It's not even close. It's a night and day difference between how I looked and how I felt then and how I feel now. I didn't feel this good at 22. So I know that the products work. Promise your people that come and sign up with you that you're going to get them results. And what I wrote down was promise and deliver or die trying. So that's your commitment level to the people who are coming to you. You know, it's decide, commit, succeed. It's the same in your business. You decide that you're going to be a coach. You commit to your challengers, and you see them succeed. And you just keep doing that. And it's the same process. Okay, so I want to share some of these emails. And I'm excited because I've been working on these all day. We've been working on them, but I've been tweaking them all day and adding some. And let's see here. See if this is it. Okay. So there's like 13 emails here, basically that throughout this series. Did you show them the calendar, Ash?
I did.
Okay.
It's on.
I have to stop share to go someplace else. Screen sharing is. Okay. Pause.
It's back on here.
Yeah. Let me stop that share. Let me share the calendar. Here we go.
I have it prettier.
Oh, you have a pretty calendar. Oh, shoot. Let me get the pretty calendar. Under this one?
Under Chrome.
Where is it?
You have to pull it up. So go to Google Chrome. And then share. And then you've got to go up here. And it's right there. That's the bottom of it.
Okay.
So it's going to...
Okay, so basically these are when we're sending out these emails. There's kind of a email 0 welcome email, email 1 here, 2, 3. It's really front loaded. So 3, 4, 5 one of these days, 6, 7, 8, 9 is here, 10, 11, 12, and then 13 here for group N. Okay, so I'm going to highlight some of the more important ones. Some of these are just basically check-ins, but I'm going to highlight some of the most important ones here to kind of round out our time. I'll try not to take more than about 10 more minutes here. The first one is we're doing a welcome. Let's see, I have it in here as 0. Let's see. Here we go. Welcome email. We're going to do a video for this. I would encourage you to do a video. So the goal is to break the ice, keep it fun, kind of set the tone for the group. This is something we haven't done yet. I'm excited to add this. We had been just starting with this next one that I'll show you, but I think that this will really help kind of this whole thing that you're going to be positive and goal-oriented. They came to you for results. Carl a few weeks ago said, don't sell more challenge packs. Go get these people results. And that's what you need to be thinking about. So in your groups, you're going to feed the positive dogs, like from the energy bus, right? Is that your positive dogs thing that you always say? Yeah. So those challengers that are all in, that are getting results, that are working hard, get them to help you behind the scenes. So ask them to really help you with the group and encourage that their spirit. They might be one of your coaches, or at least a discount coach. Okay, so then this is kind of our first email. The first one's really going to be a video. to the welcome. This one we're going to do within 24 to 48 hours of them purchasing. They can stream their workouts now, and so why not get them started? So get them acquainted with the on-demand. That's the goal of this email. Important to emphasize club for several reasons. They're going to be charged for it after 30 days, so you want to see kind of how they feel about it. This is the future. This is where Beachbody and our culture is headed. Less stuff, more cloud computing, less drives and hard drives and DVDs, and more just play it right off the internet. It's a great opportunity to try every program that Beachbody has to offer in the week of preseason in your challenge group. And it's fantastic for busy travelers, kind of crushes the excuses. So, and this is the email that you send them. It highlights some things. And then this is, I kind of have sectioned off here. So make sure you personalize it before. And then I like this. Take their goal and pull it into the future. This is something that I'm kind of learning, and that is kind of just like an aha moment last night, listening to Audra. But take their goal and pull it in the future. So they might say, I want to lose 25 pounds. And you say, I'm so excited for you to find real practical tools to help you get to your ideal weight. I want you not only to feel great about the accomplishment, but want you to have the tools that will help you feel better in your 40s than you did in your 20s. Or say that will allow you to play with your kids or grandkids. Pull their goal into the future, because if their goal is to lose 25 pounds, if they lose 20, they'll feel like it's like some kind of failure, and then they might add that weight back on. That's not the point. The point is that they make a long-term decision to care for themselves, and you're going to be the start of that. So anyway, what else I want to highlight from these? This is kind of, I have some response actions if people say some things to you. And then we're going to do a note section that's Ashley and I audio, kind of talking through some notes and points on these, so that when you pull up this template and you go to write the emails, that you have a little coaching from us on what we do and what we think is important. So the goals for this second email, this one I love. I really think that this is one of the crucial points that changed this last challenge group for us. I'm going to start at the bottom here, where I said, I actually believe this is the stickiness factor and the tipping point of success with these programs. So in the tipping point, Malcolm Gladwell talks about epidemics and how they spread. And there's 3 things that kind of happen. There's, or 4, there's people that are connectors that kind of know everybody, people that are mavens, and these people know a ton of details about certain things. So they know, let's see. So they're the people that do a ton of research, and then and people trust them to make those decisions. And then there's salesmen, and these people are people that are really good at communicating a complex idea and simplifying and kind of dumbing it down for the rest of us to understand. And then there's this thing he calls the stickiness factor. It's like cigarettes are really addictive, and people talk about like cocaine, but obviously more people are addicted to cigarettes because there's that nicotine there's like a stickiness factor to it. He talks about children's education and how Blue's Clues kind of keyed into that stickiness factor even more than Sesame Street, through trial and error and figuring out what kids attach to. I think this is the stickiness factor. If you want to turn your challenge group into a coach conversion epidemic, take this advice. So if they will give up a couple things and wean off, and then add Shakeology, and then add exercise and a supportive community, bam, you've just changed their world in 1 week, and a month later they'll be addicted to a new them. Remember that many of your challengers are food addicts, even the skinny ones right here, Cherry Coke and Sweet Tea. You just need to switch the addiction to a healthy one. So basically this email is, we're going to give you a PDF of the compound effect, which we have a copy of, and that you can get. If they take an action step, all they have to do is email you back 1 or 2 bad habits before they receive their challenge pack. And so this requires some commitment on their part. It sets them up for the big mo. It kind of clears out things. You can't, the house has to, you can't like move forward without kind of assessing your life a little bit. So one of the things that Ashley did was she threw out junk food. One of the things I did was I stopped drinking cherry Coke and sweet tea that week while the challenge pack came. Like I cleaned up. I wanted to be caffeine free for like a week or week and a half before I started, because I knew that was going to be a tough thing for me. And I think that made a huge difference in my ability to succeed with Shakeology and having more energy for my workouts, because I had to drink more water. Ashley wasn't nighttime snacking because she had thrown it out. So these were huge for us. Share your own things. Share your own things, or share your own struggles with maybe you didn't do these things and maybe that took you longer. But I really think this is crucial, that you give them some kind of email that's similar to this. So then I believe the third one is kind of a, let's see, check in. What's this one? This is the welcome. We've got you in the group. Welcome to the group. We're excited. Tease that there's going to be, this is like a Wednesday, Thursday email. We'll start the group on Sunday night with a Zoom call. That's kind of what Ashley was talking about. So then on Saturday, you send this one out and kind of prep them for the Zoom call. See how they're doing. Because really, you told them how to sign up for club membership on the day or two after they bought the challenge pack. So that could be, that could be 10, 12 days ago now. Maybe only 5, but they've had at least 2 or 3 days probably with their Beachbody On Demand to start the workouts. So check in, see how they're doing. I usually tell people make a goal of working out 3 to 4 times during that preseason week, and start thinking about what your grocery list is going to look like. It's a good time for them to start weaning themselves off caffeine or their coffee creamers or Oreos or Doritos or Diet Cokes or whatever the case may be. And so ask them how they're doing. You get a sense, this is super important too, you start to get a sense of where they are. This is really, really vital in this whole customer to coach journey. Okay, this is one I like. So the timing of this email is important. It should not be automated. You have to know where your challenges are individually. You can use this template, but you got to know you can't send this to somebody who's struggling. So this will help you and your challengers realize the importance of momentum and being sensitive to momentum. I've learned this from the compound effect, how important momentum is in your business and in your health and wellness journey. You know that when you do really well, the next day you do really well. If you start slipping, the next day it's worse and it's worse until you kind of get your act together. And that's kind of how it goes with the business. It's also kind of how it goes with our challengers. And so talking to them about this, most of the time, these people at this point have given up something. You've encouraged them to give up something. They've started drinking their shake. Maybe it's arrived. It's been there for maybe 3 to 5 days. They've done probably 5 to 10 workouts. And they got a little momentum. They've seen a little bit of results. They feel a lot better. This is a great time to kind of hit them with this email like, look, you've got momentum. You got to keep it. And that's one of the most important things. So again, a little bit of vision here. You're training maybe not for a race or a competition, not yet, but you're trained to be able to play with your kids and grandkids, to be able to do strenuous physical activity like skiing or hiking on vacation and not get injured. You're trained to be more flexible and strong. You're scheduling in your workouts in your 20s and 50s, 20s to 50s, so you don't have to schedule in your doctor's appointments as much in your 50s to 80s. You're taking control. You're building momentum. You're giving them this tool and you're saying, this is my gift to you. go and do it as best you possibly can. It's so empowering. And so doing that, and then all of a sudden they'll start to be like, yeah, I am doing this. I am creating a change, and this is totally livable and doable, which we all know that's what's awesome about these programs. These short programs, you can be consistent. You have great nutrition support. You're drinking Shakeology every day because you wouldn't remember to take your vitamins or probiotics anyway. And you're definitely not going to be buying Reishi at the Whole Food store. So anyway, number 6. Okay. So you have momentum with this person. A few days later on the calendar, I like to do this on Friday of the first full week. If again, you have to know if the person has momentum. So again, this timing should not, this shouldn't be automated. You got to know where your challenges are individually. If not, wait a week, wait 2 weeks. We have a sneak peek that starts every Monday. So just wait till a Friday that they have some momentum. If they don't ever get momentum, then don't ever ask them to be a coach. Or at least I wouldn't. I think you need that. So this is an important part about this that I wanted to bring up is it's casual. So what I like to do is I like to sandwich it. So you do a compliment, and then you do a casual indirect invite, which I'll get into, and then do another kind of compliment or check-in. So you want it to be kind of sandwiched. So, and then make it sincere and individual to them. Take your time with these. So I'm really proud of how well you're doing Personal Journey. This actually I did copy and paste from somebody and just tweaked a little bit. A lot of what I do as a coach is keep my own self accountable, help others people, and creating a fun atmosphere. That's part of the why. That's like a general why of what we do. You're one of the most encouraging and fun people I know. It's just true. She's a wonderful person. Have you ever thought about running your own groups? You would be really great. I have a group to find out. Listen to this, the wording. I have a group to find out more about coaching that starts on Monday. Would you want to hear about it? I didn't invite them to the group. I said, would you want to hear about it? And then sandwich it with a compliment here. Thanks for your support and encouraging spirit in the group. I think it's really made a difference, which is also true compliment. So notice I didn't actually invite them to the sneak peek. I invited them to hear more about the sneak peek. By asking it this way, one, you don't really get a no. They can't really tell you no. They can tell you, no, I don't want to hear about it, which really isn't a no, and you shouldn't be offended if somebody doesn't even want to hear about it. Also tells you that they're super cold. You get to gauge their response. So basically you get an assessment of where they are, like 0 to 10, which I love to know because you know how to spend your time, who's really interested, who's not interested at all. So if they say, I'm probably not interested, but I'll hear about it, that probably means they're like a 3 to 5. If they say that they're interested in hearing what it's about, then they're probably like a 5 to 7. If they say, yeah, sure, that'd be great, I'd love to learn more, then they're probably an 8 to 10. So that's all the info you need to know how serious they are when you follow up and when you add them to the sneak peek. If they are an 8 to 10 and they're not going through the sneak peek, well, to me, that would say that they're really busy or they don't know where it is. Something happened there. There's some kind of disconnect. Maybe ask them if they want you to pull them out this week and add them another week. If they're a 5 to 7 and they kind of start and then they check out, then just follow up and see what's going on with them. There might be a way that you can move them up to an 8 or a 9 if you talk to them individually. Again, when you put somebody in a sneak peek, you should do a lot of individual talking back, like every day during the sneak peek, on the side with them. So if you're not doing that, that's another key as well. So this is actually a conversation with somebody about it. And I just gave some examples of kind of if they say yes or no, how to sign them up as a discount customer and start that conversation. I'm not going to get too much into that on this call. 7, stats and remind them of the Zoom and the sneak peek. We've created a Wufoo that has stats and measurements on it so that we can continue to do that. And I really like that option. It says, like, can we share these? Can we share these without your name or without your picture? It has different options on social media. This is one of my favorites. I wanted to do something that really encouraged people to get educated on Shakeology. So I wrote the You're Awesome email and basically say, look, you are what you eat and drink, and you drink Shakeology, so you're awesome. And then I shared a couple podcasts, one with, they're both with Darren Oline. One is the one with Shalene, that's about 40 minutes. And then there's one with Rich Roll that's a couple hours. Now that seems kind of extreme, but I wanted to add some value to them that's not just me talking about Shakeology or Ashley or us listing ingredients. I wanted to give them like direct source access. There's one major reason that I want to do this, and that's because it's kind of a maven trap. When I said mavens are kind of like experts, help people make complex decisions based on their research. They research the heck out of something, and then people trust their expertise on that. Ashley's a maven, especially with like technology and entrepreneurship and like food, like health food. And so people, I think, a lot of times trust her on Shakeology. Her mom's really kind of a maven in that way too. And so is Helen. And I think that they've done really well in this business because of that, because people trust their opinions on that. So if you can convince one of these people that's a maven, that's really picky, and kind of show them like how legit Shakeology is and what Darren's process is, you've got a long-term advocate or a great coach. And so I think that that's really kind of a cool thing, that it might not catch very many people, but the people it does catch, you're going to hold on to. Okay, so number 9, I think this is a check-in. Oh, this is the email you would send on Friday after the webinar on Thursday. So tonight, the webinar is happening right now. So this is the email you would send tomorrow to anybody that was in the webinar. And this is actually one that I sent to somebody who was not able to come. And she, I sent her a link to the recording. I think that the simulated recording is better, but we've had quite a few people sign up watching the recording. I don't think it's as critical as I would have thought. So it's not a deal breaker if they watch the recording. The key is following up with them professionally and asking them to commit to a time. If you see, yes?
The reason it's important is because it's urgency, and they're like 80% more likely to actually watch it if they think it's at a certain date and time.
Yeah, it's the research that Ashley has done has shown that it is more important to do the simulated live, because it creates a sense of urgency. But the point I was trying to make is that we have sent the recording to people, and it hasn't been a deal breaker. It especially, honestly, hasn't been as much of a deal breaker as I thought it would be. I do think that that doing your own webinar is a big deal. And so if you can be the one on there describing your story, that's far more powerful. Okay, so one thing I want to point out here was, before I sent her the link, I asked her, sure, I can send you a link. When do you think you would have time to watch it? What would be a good time to follow up? And I told her how long it was. Told her that you can listen to most of it. You don't have to see all the slides. And then she committed to a time. So sometime this weekend, so Saturday or Sunday. And then she told me that she's getting ready and doing really well. She's starting to get some momentum here. So that's good to take note of. That's great. hope to see you on the Zoom Sunday. Tease the Zoom here. And then here's the link. She's in the current challenge group. This is somebody we've been talking to for months. And so I sent it to her, so I'll follow up on Saturday or Sunday with her about that. So, and then basically these 10, 11, 12 are basically checking in with them, talking about if they want to cancel Beachbody On Demand, providing a link for them. And then the last one is, hey, do you want to continue on? I'm not seeing it now. Anyway, do you want to continue with, let's see, 11, 12, 13. Do you want to continue and do another challenge group? We've kind of said that we're going to do, like, allow people to do 2. Do you want to go into what we kind of call an overflow group or a graduate group? And basically that's where Ashley's going to add her free groups and then kind of do something like once a week. It won't be as hands-on, but there'll be some action and interaction, and those people can interact as well. That idea is basically to promote new products and educate people on what's going on. These are your clients and customers, and some may cancel, but they may stay in the group, may still do the workouts, may not be on Shakeology, but it's kind of a warm market that you'll always have. And so that's kind of cool. And then this is a good time to ask them if they want to continue on as a coach, and just say, a lot of people continue on as a coach just for the accountability, just to be connected to the community and to make sure that these changes that they're making stick. And so that's an awesome opportunity to ask them that. The last thing I just want to talk about real quick is that if you have a challenger that isn't doing well, they're struggling, they're making poor food choices, or they're not consistent in the workouts, or they're not seeing weight loss, it's important for you to be talking with them daily. So put them back kind of on your list to daily check in with them. And then as the group goes on, you need to prioritize the people that aren't getting back to you, like what's going on. It's easy to just hang out with the people in the group that are interacting, that are losing weight. But you signed up to help them when they signed up. And so you need to go after those people that you're not hearing from and find out what's going on. If they choose to quit, they need to know that they chose to quit, that you tried to contact them 5 times in a week, through text, through email, through Facebook message. You tried multiple times and they decided that they were going to not talk to you. So just so you know, I think that's super important that you kind of go after those people. If you have somebody that you really believe in, they might come back to you. They might just realize that the timing is wrong if you show that love to them. So that's what I've got for tonight. I hope that there was something in there that you can grasp hold of right away, and then we'll get these templates out to you. And hopefully this will help you in kind of how you manage your groups on the backside, or on the communication behind the actual groups that are going on. Stop the share. Cool. Does anybody have any specific questions about any of that? And we'll make those available to you. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.